You know, for years they've always said that space was the last frontier. But I think I found a new unexplored frontier, and that is the YouTube comment section. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today to review the film Star Trek Beyond. So Star Trek Beyond once again follows the crew of the USS Enterprise, who are now in their third year of their 5-year mission. And they take a pit stop at this technologically advanced planet-sized base, and while being there, they get recruited to go on this rescue mission into uncharted nebula, where they get attacked by an unknown enemy and crash land on an unknown planet. And now they basically have to survive, rescue their teammates, and stop this evil villain known as Krull from basically wiping out that planet-sized base. Now for me personally, I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan. I never watched the original series, don't kill me! I never saw any of the original films, don't kill me! I never saw Next Generation, don't kill me! I never saw USS Enterprise or Deep Space Nine, don't kill me? But what I have seen and grown really fond of is the Abrams Star Trek films. I really enjoyed the first one, I really enjoyed the second one, although I can admit that it is a very flawed film. I probably would retract the grade that I gave it 3 years ago. I don't think it is a 5 out of 5, it's more like maybe a 4 or a 3.5 out of 5, but still, it was a really enjoyable film. And here we have the third one, which isn't directed by J.J. Abrams, but instead is being helmed by Justin Lin, who directed 4 of the Fast and Furious films. I'm a little scared. But there is some credit I can give Justin Lin. For one, he is a very competent director. He can put a film together pretty nicely. He has a keen eye for action and spectacle, and he did direct my favorite Fast and Furious film, which I know for some people isn't really saying much, but I'm still gonna count it. And it goes without saying that I was looking forward to seeing this film. Yeah, sure, the first trailer didn't do much to impress, but the second trailer was freaking awesome and got me hyped to see the film. And after the tragic death of Anton Yelchin, I felt more inclined to come and support this film in honor of him and his role as Chekhov. And now it's time to share my thoughts with all of you. Right off the bat, the visuals in this film look stellar. They are great, and the cinematography is amazing. In fact, there are 2 shots in this film that are without question one of the coolest and most mind-blowingly gorgeous shots I've seen in a film all year. All year. One of them you've already seen in the trailer. It's the one where you see the Enterprise zooming through space and you see like the ripples behind it. Like, it looked amazing on the big screen. There's one more that I won't spoil for you, but when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is not only really intense, but it looks freaking awesome. Another element that looked quite awesome was the makeup used for all the different alien species throughout the film. Except for this one that was a straight up ripoff of the facehuggers from the Alien franchise. When I saw it, I went, oh, really guys? Really? Were you just feeling lazy? Did you just give up that you decided to rip off a design from another successful sci-fi franchise? I mean, you were doing so well with your own unique designs and your own unique looks. Why did you feel the need to have to rip off the Aliens franchise? And I don't care what anyone says to kind of defend them, like, oh, no, Tony, it was supposed to be paying tribute to the Aliens franchise. No, it was an homage. No cop-out like that. They straight up ripped it off, guys. There's no excuse for that. But there is a design in this film that was so cool, so badass, and so visually appealing that it made up for them ripping off the Aliens franchise. And that was the look and design of the new alien character, Jayla. I mean, just look at the character. She's just so unique and aesthetically pleasing. And I'm not just talking about her body. Oh, okay, I'll go burn in hell now. Joking aside, the character does look visually interesting and badass. And fortunately for us, her looks are not the only thing that is interesting and badass. Most of the action scenes were fun and very thrilling to watch. From the hand-to-hand combat between the characters to the epic space battles. Though I can't deny that there were some action scenes that did feel very Fast and Furious S, which would make so much sense considering the director. Now let's touch upon the story. I thought it was solid, engaging, and very entertaining. The series has finally come into its own and started telling its own story without trying to harken back to the original series. It's being its own thing. And I like the new obstacle that the crew of the Enterprise are facing in this film. I mean, they have no ship, no crew, they're all on their own, and they must survive on this hostile, unknown planet. Now, that is a riveting and interesting pitch for a new Star Trek film if ever I heard one. And I have to give huge props to the new writers, Simon Pegg and Doug Jung. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I've never heard of this guy before, and I don't think he's written any other films besides Star Trek Beyond. Both did pretty well writing the story. They made it interesting, they understood the characters, and the humor was on point, which makes so much sense because Simon Pegg is a comedy writer. That's his strongest suit, so that's the thing that he's going to excel at the most. I wouldn't be surprised if most of the jokes written in the film was written by Simon Pegg, and I'm very happy that he was very fair and balanced when it came to the humor of the film. I mean, he easily could have gave himself all the A material because he's also a star in the film, but no, he divided it evenly among the characters. Good job, Simon Pegg. And there is one element in the story that pertains to Ambassador Spock that was excellently done. Now, I won't go into full detail in this review. I'm trying to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. I may do a separate review where I go more into it, but the way that they handled this part of the story not only is a really nice tribute to Leonard Nimoy, but it also adds to the story and adds to the character of Spock. That is so well done. See, that is how you do a tribute that doesn't come off as forced and is actually relevant to the story being told. More films need to follow Star Trek Beyond's example. But I can't deny that there are quite a few major hiccups in their writing, and we'll get to that soon. And finally, we have the characters. And like most of the things in this film, they too were great. From the returning characters to the new characters. I especially liked what they did with the returning characters, as most of them got a chance to shine, and I love the interesting pairings that they made in this film. Like, you had Spock pairing up with Bones, which made for many hilarious comedic exchanges and also heartfelt moments between them. You have James T. Kirk teaming up with Chekhov, which was pretty interesting. You have Scotty teaming up with the new alien girl, Jayla, which was really nice just seeing them bond. The one pairing that I was a little disappointed about was the pairing of Uhura and Sulu. I wish they could have done more with their characters in this film, but I understand, you know, they're mostly prisoners throughout the film, so they didn't have much to do, but still, for a majority of the characters, I thought they handled them very well. And I like the new characters too. From Jayla, the new badass, who is actually played by the same badass girl that was in freaking Kingsman last year. She was a badass. They actually developed her character a little bit. You understand why she doesn't want to go back to the camp and what happened to her in her past. And then you got the villain, Krall. Now, at first, I thought Krall was going to be a very lackluster villain, as there wasn't much of a motivation behind his action, but as the film went on, there is a big twist dealing with this character, and it kind of just makes it all come to full circle, although it's still a bit confusing, which I'll get into a little later. But I like his character. He's menacing, he's a huge threat, he's pretty cool, and Idris Elba kicks ass as the character. In fact, most of the actors and actresses did a phenomenal job in their roles. And I have to give a special shout out to Anton Yelchin, who is no longer with us. He still kills it as Chekhov. And it was so nice just to see him in this film, and also to have him paired up with James T. Kirk. He gets a lot of scenes in the film, which is nice. Also, there's some very interesting and well done character moments and development for James T. Kirk and Spock. But unfortunately, I do have a couple problems with this film. My biggest problem with this film, and I thought long and hard about this, guys, were the villain's motivations behind his actions. They just don't add up. They make no sense. And I wish I could tell you what his motivations were, but it would give away a major reveal and be a major spoiler, so I have to be as vague as possible. But to put it simply, at one point in the film, his motivation is this one thing, but nearing the end of the film, it turns into a whole nother thing, and then after a little bit after that, it becomes a whole nother thing. Like, what is his motivations? But that is not the only problem I found with the villain Kroll, as there were many unexplained and unexplored mysteries surrounding this character that never get answered, never get resolved by the end of the film. And I wish I could tell you what those unanswered questions were, but again, it would give away a major reveal and it would be a huge spoiler, and I don't want to tarnish the experience for you. I just may have to do a spoiler review so I can go more in depth about these cons. But straight up, there was more to be explored with this villain. He's not a terrible villain, he's missing a few pieces to be a complete and fully realized villain. In fact, now that I think about it, a lot of the issues that I found with this film are somewhat related or shared with the problems I had with the villain. There are a lot of inconsistencies and parts of the film that just don't add up or don't make sense. And again, I can't really explain them to you without spoiling some major things in the film, which is, it sucks. I can't really defend my case because if I do it, I would ruin the experience and I don't want to do that. But yeah, there are a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of things that just, you scratch your head like, wait, how are they able to do something like that? It wouldn't make sense that that thing would still be operational, or how did they do that? The reason why I'm bringing these issues to light and why they're such a big deal, guys, is because these small issues suck the audience out of the experience. They remind them that they are watching a film, and the whole purpose of the film going experience is to make the audience suspend disbelief. Make them forget that they're even watching a film. Be so engrossed in what's happening that they get lost in it. The problem is that these issues, they just remind you, hey, oh yeah, I'm watching a Star Trek film, I'm watching a bunch of people in space, and they just keep adding up and they keep popping you out. And the last issue that I found with the film deals with its pacing. It was off in some areas, like some scenes went on for way too long and other scenes were just way too short. But overall, guys, despite its few flaws, I still really enjoyed and got a kick out of Star Trek Beyond. It's a fun and entertaining Star Trek film, and it is my personal favorite of the Abrams Star Trek films. Yes, I know that's a controversial statement, as everybody loved the first one, but I didn't love it as much as everybody else. I personally really got a kick out of this one, and that's why I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely think that it is worth watching, especially if you're a fan of the Abrams Star Trek films. But anyway, what did you guys think of this film? Did you love it to death? Do you think it's the best Star Trek film ever made? Or did you find it really boring, dull, you really couldn't get into it? And let me know, what is your favorite, or better yet, least favorite Star Trek film? Comment below, let me know, and I am working diligently on getting all the videos I need to get done before the end of the month. It is gonna be a really exhausting few days, guys. Just pray for me. But until then, guys, if you would like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about in a second, going where no man has ever gone before as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.